Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So it's me, Ma'am M. So thank you so much guys for the unbeatable, unstoppable support. Okay, thank you so much for always watching my videos lesson about the Science 5 module. So again, thank you so much for today's topic about the modes of reproduction in plants. So, natapos na tayo sa animals. Punta na naman tayo sa plants. But before that, if you new in my YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you will updated if I have a new uploads video. So, thank you so much! And palagi kayong makaantabay sa aking YouTube channels kasi soon, very soon, ay mamimigay tayo ng surprise. So, yun lang po. So, let's start in our lesson for today. So, modes of reproduction in plants. So, like other animals, like other organisms, so plants can also reproduce using different ways. So, in the previous lesson, you learned about how plants undergo sexual reproduction, diba din sa plants, sexual reproduction, yung sa incomplete fertilization and complete. So, yun. So, ito na tayo din sa plants natin. Kung ano din yung, diba, in our previous lesson, yung about sa the female reproductive parts of the flower, the male reproductive parts, the pistil and the stamen, then they move to the ovule, then they create seeds or a flower muna, then seeds. So, yung mga flower and seeds, yung fruits, and many other. Yung mga tuber, yung mga root crops, yung stems, sa leaves, basta yun. Basta yun. So, ito na ba? At this point, you will recognize other means of plants reproduction, specifically through vegetative propagation. So, ito naman ay meron ito sa agriculture. Ito. Paano magpaparami ng isang variety of plant, just like sa Oryza sativa, sa rice po yan. Yan yung scientific name ng Okay, scientific name ng palay, Oryza sativa. There's a lot of variety niya. Kaya, 'di ba, makikita natin sa ating mga palengke na iba't iba yung price, iba't iba yung uri ng nandun yung mga bigas na yon, dahil in one rice there's a lot of variety. So, dahil yan sa vegetative propagation, kung paano nila pinaparami yun, paano sila nabubuo ng ganyan, so ganun po. So, vegetative propagation is asexual reproduction in plants using different parts like stem, roots, and leaves to produce new plants. So, okay, sa mga malalaking agriculture school, gaya sa dati, kung saan ako nag-graduate is yung agriculture school na yun, meron silang different methods. Yung parang may laboratory sila, may greenhouse kung saan yung mga young plants na nandun, kung paano yung pinagpaparami talaga sila, yung mga seeds, yung mga talong, yung mga ampalaya, yung mga ganon. Mostly naman talaga yun is buto. Kaya meron tayong makikita ng mga mabibili na mga seeds dahil sila ang nun. Meron naman yung mga plants na nabubuhay, na kinukuha natin sa stem, tapos yung iba naman ay dahil sa dahon. So, most of them talaga is sa seeds and sa, flowers, mga ganun. So, asexual siya kasi, yun po, kung nanonood kayo sa previous lesson natin is paano nagiging asexual at paano nagiging sexual sila. So here, the asexual reproduction does not involve the use of seeds to propagate. So, this lesson will give you an understanding on the different modes of reproduction among flowering and non-flowering. So, when you say flowering, from the word itself, namumulaklak. Pag sa non-flowering plants, from the word non, so walang bulaklak. So, doing the different activities or tasks in this lesson will help you identify the different parts that can be used to produce new plants aside from seeds. So, ito na po yung parang challenge nyo to. Kasi madali lang natin is very common, very popular yung paparami from that seeds. So, ito ay challenge sa inyo. Paano ka magtanim ka na gamit ang stem, magtanim ka gamit ang roots, ay popular din yung roots. Magtanim ka lang ng young plants, maparoots ko, ganun. So, yun po. Yung leaves, yung mga ganun. Yun po. So, okay, so you can doing these parts you can use produce new plants aside from the seeds. So, in our preliminary activity, so, are you familiar with horseradish, fiddlehead, fern, and mosses? So, if you know them, have you tried looking at the parts below? Is a chart for you to complete. So, try to draw each plant. So, I know naman ngayon, guys, is matalino naman kayo eh. Kasi, pag meron tayong very uncommon term sa atin, yung bagong word na nalalaman natin, punta tayo agad kay Daddy Google. So, yan po. Mabilis na. Type lang natin siya. Fiddlehead fern. So, yan po. So, don't worry guys. Kasi nandito na yung Tagalog term ng mga plant na yon. Okay. Si horseradish ay malunggay or the moringa. And fiddlehead fern, yung pako. Ganun. Favorite ko to. And moses yung lumot. Yan. So, you have to draw. So, pwede rin kayong magtawag nito. O, dahil kayo ay nanonood ng aking YouTube, so ibig sabihin, may internet access kayo. So, madali lang kayo pumunta sa Google at maghanap kayo na pwede nyong gayahin na drawing. And classification, with flowers or without flowers. So, madali. Sulatan mo lang, with flowers. So, ibig sabihin, si malunggay, namumulaklak ba? Lagyan mo ng with flowers. Ito si fiddlehead fern ay meron ba siyang flowers? Pwede mo with flowers. Ganon. And si lumot naman, pwede naman with flowers. Nasa inyo po yun. So, yun lang po. Simple. Very simple mga tao. So, proceed. The previous lesson provides you the understanding about flowers as reproductive organ. Diba? Yung mga flowers ay nandun. Yung incomplete flowers and complete flowers. Si complete flowers yung both male and female, and yung incomplete flower yung asexual siya. Okay, so as reproductive organ of fruit-bearing plants to produce seeds. Okay, kapag merong fruits, merong seeds talaga yan. So, ano natin sa utak yan? Kapag merong fruit, may seed. Diba si mangga, fruit, may buto sa loob. Yung mga ganun sa avocado. So, magbigay kayo ng mga fruit na may seed sa ating comment section. So, to grow new plants, in general, plants are classified into two major groups, flowering and non-flowering plants. So, flowering plants are those that have obvious flowers, accessory organs, and very obvious. Alam naman natin lahat kung ano yung flower, di ba? So, in botany, ito na yung sinasabi ko, yung botany is focused only on plants. So, ang mga scientists na nag-study niyan is botanist. So, branch of science that deals with the study of plants. So, they are called the angiosperm. Okay, so ito yung Greek word, the angios. So, ito na yung mga naked seed and mga seed coat, mga ganon. So, plants that belongs to angiosperm family reproduce by means of their flower. Okay, flowering plants, angiosperm. Flowering plants, angiosperm. Ganon. So, the presence of flowers may give clue that the plant produces seeds that matured within the fruits. Ito na yung sinasabi ko. Kapag merong fruits, may seeds. Ganon. Flowering plants, angiosperms. Ganon lang. Excuse. So, there are two groups of angiosperm, dicotyledonous and monocotyledonous plants. Okay, ito ay mga Greek words na, so, hirap ibigkas. dicotyledonous, pero ang may short term naman tayo dyan. Dicot, monocot. Okay, when we say dicot, 2 seeds. When we say monocot, mono, 1. Okay, yun lang. So, dicotyledonous plants are plants with knitted veins and with 2 cotyledons in this embryo. Okay, embryo, yung seeds na siya yung mga ng young plant. Ganon. Kung merong embryo dun sa female reproductive part ng tao, meron ding embryo sa plants. Okay, so, ma-classify natin at ma-identify at ma-distinguish natin yung si mono at saka si dicot, si monocot at si dicot, kasi sa dahon pa lang nila is magkaiba sila, at sa type of seed is magkaiba sila, sa roots magkaiba sila, and yung tubes nila and sa flowers is magkaiba din. So, some examples of dicotyledonous plants are beans, peas, daisies, while monocotyledonous plants are bamboos, bananas, and lilies. So, ano kaya ang mga characteristics nila, yung physical appearance nila, yung texture, and shape, kung ano yung pinagkaiban yung sa mga plants na yan. So, in our learning test 1, observe your surrounding. Sa surrounding na. Okay, labas-labas naman kayo mamaya, no? After this manood. At i-observe nyo lang yung mga plants, kung ano yung mga plants na nakikita nyo. So, list down the plants that possess the given description below on monocot and dicot. So these are the characteristics or the physical appearance of the monocot and dicot. Okay, kapag may nakikita ka na kapag yung seeds ay ganyan yung shape, ibig sabihin one cotyledon monocot. Yung roots, kapag ang roots niya ay paganyan, fibrous roots, monocot siya. Vascular, yung ano yun, very scattered, monocot din siya. Yung leaf niya ay parallel veins, pahaba, just like sa rice, munggo, so monocot siya. And flower, multiple of 3. Okay, so yan, madali na yan. Dahil kapag mayroon ka na nakikitang flower na kung 3 lang yung petals niya, ay ibig sabihin na monocot siya. So magbilang kayo ng mga petals sa flowers mamaya after watching this video. Okay, sa dicot naman, may si dicot, 2 cotyledon. Parang nag-cell division siya, nahati siya o nabibiyak kapag tumutubo na yung young plant or yung embryo. So, ito yung top roots niya, paganyan yung roots. Let's compare and contrast these two types of the angiosperm, the monocot and dicot. Ito yung vascular niya, range, yung isa is scattered. Anong pagkakaiba nila? So, meron pagkakaiba. So, sa net-like veins, ito yung paganyan. Ay, marami ako nakikitang ganito. So, kung meron naman kayong cellphone, pwede nyo picturean yung mga yan. And then, pwede nyo i-upload sa or i-send sa messenger. Yo, ma'am, ito yung dicot. Wow, how amazing. Ganon. Then, multiple, yung petals niya is 4 or 5. Okay, pag may nakikita ka ng petals na 4 or 5, so ibig sabihin dicot po siya. Okay, pag ako ay lalabas, tapos ang unang hanapin ko talaga yung flower na, yung mga halaman na may flower na multiple of 3 and 4 or 5. Kasi doon na natin malalaman na sa kanal yung mga leaves. Kung wala kayong nakikita na namumulaklak sa surroundings nyo, maghanap na kayo ng mga ganitong uri ng mga dahon. Kung yan ay patulis, monocot. Kapag siya ay parang heart, something like that shape, is dicot. So, tsaka nyo lang siya hiwain yung kanyang stem, at saka bulutin, at saka seeds. Ito muna titingnan natin sa physical appearance. Saka ito. Kasi ito, kailangan mo siyang bunutin para makita mo kung ano yung vascular niya, yung roots niya, ganon. Pero, hindi naman sana tayo hantong sa ganon, no? Hanggang dito na lang. Kasi, pag binunot natin, patay lagot tayo sa ating mga nanay. Kasi binibili nila, yay, mga plantita, mga plantito. So, yun po. So, you have to list down of mga plants which belong to the monocot and which belong in dicot. So, maghanap na kayo ng 5-5. Okay? Get it? So, flowers are important for plants to bear fruits and produce seeds. So, however, there are also plants that do not use flower for reproduction. These plants are called the non-flowering plants. It's obvious. Hindi siya gumagamit ng kanyang flowers to produce its own. Okay? So, in our learning test 2, there are non-flowering plants that do not produce flowers and seeds. So, marami din. Okay, so there are plants that produce spores. Ibig sabihin spores, yung marami siya sa mga pako, sa mga very humid and moist environment siya. Kapag yung dahon na nahahawakan mo, sa likod ng dahon na yon, may kang white, yun po yung mga spores na yon. So, there are plants where seeds are not developed inside the parts of the flowers. So, in this activity, try to rearrange the jumbled letters to know these plants. Okay, so ito yung hint, ito yung one word, mga hint niyan, ito yung meaning or classification, and this is the hint. So, here, they are plants that use cones to house their seeds. They are woody plants, and most of them are trees. And then there are simple plants are not well adapted to terrestrial plants. So you have to rearrange this word. Letters pala. So ito din, same as this, they have the specialized stem that moves water and nutrients from the roots. Some use spores to grow new plants. So in your activity learning test 3, based on the given description, identify the classification of the plants found on the left side of each description. So, ito na yung mosses, yung mga lumot na nasa patay na puno, yung puno na pinutol. So, they are small plants that produce spores for reproduction instead of seeds and don't grow flowers, wood, or through roots. So, what is the classification of this? The ferns, ito yung pako. So, ferns generally reproduce by producing spores similar to the flowering plants. Ferns have roots, stems, and leaves, and the classification. And they're conifers. So, they produce yung mga pine trees and many other. So, they produce cone-bearing seeds. All living conifers are woody plants, and most are trees, pines, and typical examples are conifers. Okay, in general, non-flowering plants may be also classified into 2 groups. The first produce spores, while the second group makes seeds to reproduce in the absence of flowers and accessory organs. So, learning test 4. Given the chart, put a check mark if each characteristic is true to each group of plants. So, you have to copy this table and answer in your answer sheet. Flowering. So, you have to check lang kung ito ba ay non-flowering or just simple lang. Okay, in your learning test 5, a herbarium. Ito yung parang output ninyo. A herbarium ay gusto ko itong ginagawa nung nasa college pa ako. So, a herbarium is an album of scrapbook of compressed flowering or non-flowering plants. So, it may contain all parts or some parts of the plants. To make a herbarium, follow the following step. Parang, kukuha ka ng isang flower, ilagay mo sa books, napadaganan mo siya hanggang sa matuyo na siya. Then, ilagay mo siya sa yung scrapbook, kung anong plants na yun, anong pangalan ng plants na yun. So, hindi ko na siya ipapavideo sa mga sa school ko, sa Pasong Buhay 1. Hindi na kailangang i-video nyo kasi ayoko nang ganun. Ayoko magka-issue ulit. Okay, so you have to make your scrapbook na which contains of the herbarium. Kahit 2 or more plants, 2 plants lang ang igagawa nyo ng herbarium. So, there are the steps. The collect plants or plants parts compressed using old book or any materials where you can flatten the parts. Kami ang ginagawa namin dati is pinapa-frame. Okay, so paste or glue them on each page. Indicate the name of the plants and its classification. Wow! So, tapos na tayo sa week 6. So, thank you so much, guys. And, yung herbarium na yon is mag-expect ako sa week 8. Hindi kailangan magmadali. Depende kung sa mga hindi naman sa school ko, ay magtanong na lang kayo sa inyong guro kung kailan kayo magpapasa ng ganyan. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, for watching. For if you have a question, leave your question in the comment section. And if you have a violent reaction, recommendation, suggestion, any hateful message, tarot, walang ganun, guys. So thank you so much, and God bless, and mabuhay po tayong lahat.